have to press my clicker like 3 times before it actually like turns anything on. So I have to like sit there and like this whole time I'm like licking my lips. I'm like, are you gonna work? Are you gonna work? I think if I did edit my videos, I'd probably edit that out. Amber Lee, you are an outfit repeater. I've seen by like social media coaches that they're like, you can do all your content in one day, just change your outfit, and so you can like upload it on different days. But I'm not a YouTuber. I am just a like medium, like a little messenger, just passing along information. Oh my god, it's like I pass notes in my little earth class to my little earth friends. LOL. So yeah. Another thought that I would like to pass on is we're gonna see a lot of people in 2022. This is the year of like heart stuff. So you're gonna see people moving forward with their heart, and you know, that can look like lots of different things. A change of job. Maybe you move somewhere. Maybe you quit your fucking job and you go get a camper and you go live around the entire United States. Maybe you have a breakup. Or maybe you just find your passion. It looks different for other people. I know some of those things sound scary. I mean, to me they do. I'm human. But, you know, it can also look like having the courage to go, you know, do that career or take that class, or, you know, put yourself out there, and maybe you upload your first singing video. So moving forward with your heart looks different for everybody. But 2022 is where we're going to see a lot of people starting to move forward with their heart. Of course, there are physical shifts that come with that. So, you know, like supply chain things, these are just physical things that have to catch up. No big deal. Don't sweat it. Don't freak out over it. Like, it's something, it'll come, it'll go. It'll serve its purpose. Just honor it. And, you know, as long as you're living with integrity and beauty and right intention, and you're not being greedy, and you're just being modest and grateful and moving forward with your heart, you're gonna be fine. You'll be fine. That being said, it's like we've been in a masculine, it's kind of like things go in like a phase, kind of like a pendulum. So we've been in the like masculine part of the pendulum. Now we're moving back to like the maternal part of the pendulum, and we've been in the masculine part of the pendulum for a long time. That's like patriarchal type stuff. So now we're going back to the matriarchal. That's the word. Matriarchal. So we're going back to like more matriarchal like portion of it. So healing, connecting with our roots, like following our heart, you know, just kind of like making sure that where we are placed and what we're doing is what it is that feels good in our heart. But like I said, that's going to have people, we're going to see more people going through spiritual awakenings. And I wanted to kind of touch on what a spiritual awakening means. I'm sorry, I'm like playing with this sticker. Maybe I don't have good enough social skills, but it's kind of hard to stare into this teeny tiny black circle at the top of my screen looking at this big huge ring light. I literally feel like one of those birds on the Windex commercial when I do it. So yeah, I'm gonna look away because I'm not a freak. And I don't know anybody who stares at another person when they talk anyway. Like I said, I would rather let it flow because I'm not a professional and I'm just passing you notes in earth class. Why do I have to get on these like side tangents? That's so irrelevant. I also think it's human, so whatever. It ain't matter. What was I talking about? Dun, 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 dun. Spiritual awakenings. What is a spiritual awakening? And is it one of these little new age spirit people terms? No. It's not. It's not. A spiritual awakening, blah, 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 blah. A spiritual awakening is like an actual process. So that is like when, how far down the rabbit hole do we go? All right, Spirit, what do y'all want me to say? It's like So we're consciousness, okay? We're just pure consciousness. We're not a body. We're not an experience. We're just pure consciousness. It's like consciousness is starting to realize that it's consciousness. It's like an awareness of itself, okay? So that's when you'll see, like, the way it shows up in your reality is like you start being self-aware, or you start being aware of like patterns. So maybe in the past you've noticed that you allow yourself to be manipulated, and now you're able to give that a term, and that doesn't sit well, it doesn't resonate, and that's not something that you want to continue. That's a self-awareness. That's a healing. So that's truths. You'll start to visit like your belief systems, like, oh, I was taught this as a kid, but I think there's a higher perspective to it. Like, oh, let's see, I'm trying to find something vague so I don't get some like comment on my video about like, oh, you don't spank your kids so you don't discipline or something. No. Maybe one day you'll be like, I have a really negative thought pattern. Where does that come from? You'll be like, does this even belong to me? And then you realize it came from your mom. It didn't even belong to you. Or maybe you don't like the way you talk to your children. Or maybe you realize, I get offended really easily, or something just doesn't resonate, or maybe here's the whammy. Sometimes I feel like this takes more courage than I would rather muster. Maybe you realize that your religion doesn't sit well, and you start to question your religion. Maybe you have some questions, or maybe you even have a deeper connection with it. I mean, really, this looks different for everybody, but it's a very strong self-awareness. Now, don't confuse self-awareness with having poor self-esteem and what do you call it? What is that psychology term? You have, it's not a self-awareness, it's a like you're anxious, kind of like judgmental towards yourself. There's a difference between a judgment and a thought or something, because a judgment is a thought that you have that is not loving. Of course, you can have this spiritual awakening, and you can, realize these things that don't resonate anymore. You can still think of yourself in a loving way, but you cannot escape the accountability. Accountability is really important. So, healing, I feel like, is also a part of that journey, because as you start to awaken, you're naturally going to want to heal, because you're going to say, ooh, I don't like the way that feels. I don't want to carry that anymore. So you'll be more intentional about like what it is that you carry. Your belief systems, who you have in your inner circle, what it is that you do with your time. You might start using words like energy, vibes, because it's real. It's real. Okay? Our chakras, the thing that we process and experience all of reality with, teeny tiny little golf ball sized little radios that have their own frequency, and that's what you process your entire reality through. Okay, so your roots, like the survival, and then you have your emotional processing, which is your sacral. You have your powerhouse, like what you give your energy to, how your energy comes, how your energy goes. That's your solar plexus. That's yellow right here. You've got your heart, that is intention, and what you tend to do. Anytime you're doing something with your hands, you're supposed to be doing it with your heart. Fuck around and find out until you figure out what it is that you do and don't want to do with that. Throat, that is like your expression of your thoughts and your feelings. Third eye, that's your intuition. Inner screen processing, you can use that to receive messages from spirit using that inner screen. And your crown, that's your connection to spirit. Okay, your root also is your connection to earth. It's what literally holds space for you to even have a consciousness held in a body to this earth. So you'll start to process things, because when you are going through an awakening, that's like a coin term for basically your chakras and your shit is upgrading. So you will be processing things through your chakras differently. Now, I feel like you have to have time for integration, so it doesn't all happen overnight. It'll happen over a span of time. You know, I feel like since I've been in my awakening, I had my awakening in 2014. To be completely frank with you, I felt for a while like I was floating. It's not scary, and not everybody will like experience that, but I did. I felt like I was floating. Like I almost felt like I wasn't even in my body. Dun 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 dun. Blue Skidoo, we can too, except we can't. Y'all ever tried to Blue Skidoo on the TV as a little kid and it didn't work? I'm still mad. I'm about to be 30 on March the 7th. And I'm still sad I can't Blue Skidoo. Very ghetto. 0 stars. But I would recommend it if we could do it. Spiritual awakening. So maybe you'll want to let go of the things that make you feel insecure, or maybe the way you process your emotions or receive emotional energy from other people will be different. What you decide to give your energy to. Maybe somebody's toxic. You start to realize the toxic relationships you have, and you're like, oh, fuck that, and then you want to go do something else. Yeah. How you move forward, how you express yourself, being authentic. When you're going through a spiritual awakening, understand that it is you being stripped of cultural bullshit that you've been taught to believe. You start to awaken and realize that that's just something that you were taught. You pick and choose what it is that you want to keep. And then that also helps you to go back forward and you're just returning to your authenticity. That's all it is. And your authenticity is not going to be perfect. It's just going to be where you are at that moment. And you honor that, because there's no destination. It's just a journey. It's a journey. There is no destination. So you don't have to do it all overnight. You don't even have to do it all in one lifetime. Interesting. Takes a lot of pressure off, honestly. So, it'll help you to be more intentional, like the life that you're creating. You'll start to realize that you are powerful. You start to take your power back. You realize, are you creating your life out of fear, or are you creating your life out of love? If it's not created from love, it's created from a wound. So, realizing what your wounds are. Okay, what is a wound? That's the second time I've seen 1313. A wound. So, being a shamanic and reiki practitioner, wounds are my specialty. I've had to heal my own wounds before I could ever heal anybody else's, because guess what? When you're a healer, the wounds that you heal within yourself typically are the people that you, with identical wounds, are sent to you, so that you can help them on their healing journey as well. It's beautiful. It really is. Helping people find their power, their voice, their sense of belonging, how to move forward with their heart, how to let go, how to do it with grace and love and honor and integrity and gently, for God's sakes. It doesn't have to be done in a harsh way. Going back to yourself and your authenticity and realizing that you are worthy. That's what healing is. And that's part of your gift of the awakening. So it'll let you realize, so you'll probably, I feel like that's one of the things that makes me feel so excited about being a shaman, is because there's going to be a lot of people that need this help, that need this healing. We are not beholden. We are not beholden to the things that make us feel